And guess what? In addition to the Tea Party being racist, Obama has come out and said that Al-Qaeda is racist. I am not making this up. It's from ABC News. In an interview earlier today with the South African Broadcasting Corporation to air a few hours later, President Obama, this is yesterday, disparaged Al-Qaeda and for its willingness to kill Africans in a manner that White House aides said was an argument that terrorist groups are racist. This is the Uganda bombings. So, finally, folks, it has now been a year and a half, finally, the President of the United States of America has had something critical to say about Al-Qaeda. And what is it? They're a bunch of racist terrorists because they blew up a bomb in Uganda. They're not racists for blowing up the World Trade Center. But they are racists for that. Here's what Obama said. What you've seen in some of the statements that have been made by these terrorist organizations is they do not regard African life as valuable in and of itself. They see it as a potential place where you can carry out ideological battles that kill innocents without regard to long-term consequences for their short-term tactical gains. Additionally, U.S. intelligence has indicated Al-Qaeda leadership specifically targets and recruits black Africans to become suicide bombers because they believe that poor economic and social conditions make them more susceptible to recruitment than Arabs. Don't Democrats do the same thing, minus the suicide bombing? The Democrat Party targets and recruits black Africans and Americans to be the victims of their social policy. They don't do it for suicide bombers, of course. Democrats do this to get votes. So finally, the President of the United States has said that Al-Qaeda's worthy of criticism because they're racist. Because they blew up 64 people or whatever it is in Uganda, in Africa. Do you believe? I mean, there's no other way to analyze this. Folks, I seriously am, my head's still spinning here with Obama's lashing out at Al-Qaeda for being racist because they bombed Uganda. By the way, if Al-Qaeda is now racist, does that mean terrorism is a hate crime? And if it's a hate crime, we can go after them even twice as hard. Because, you know, if you commit a crime and you're thinking racist thoughts when you do it, why, we can nail you to whatever we want to nail you to, including if you are now Al-Qaeda. Jennifer Rubin at Contentions, which is a blog, a commentary, has this observation. It's actually a restatement of what Obama said. Obama faults Al-Qaeda's strategy in Africa for being blindly ideological and for being willing to sacrifice the entire African community to Al-Qaeda's agenda without any regard for the harmful long-term consequences. He is speaking of this group as though they are just another group of political opponents of his, not murderous terrorists. And they're not thinking through the long-term consequences of bombing Africans in Africa. Obama does not express outrage that Africans are dying so much as he expresses outrage that Obama is targeting Africa without considering the long-term consequences of their actions. To be concerned about the long-term, or to say Al-Qaeda is behaving without regard for their long-term consequences? I am sitting here in the distinguished and prestigious Attila the Hun chair at my institute, and I'm flabbergasted. Because it's apparent here that President Obama just looks at this group as another group of political opponents. And the quotes from White House aides. You know, we never really hated Al-Qaeda before, but this really is beyond the pale. I mean, they've gone after Africa now. They're attacking everyone. This is beyond the pale. Al-Qaeda is keeping the black man down by not giving him higher positions and greater responsibilities within their terrorist organization. Instead, Al-Qaeda's not reaching out? Al-Qaeda's not reaching out to black Africans except as suicide bombers, and that makes them discriminatory, and they're not concerned about the long-term harmful consequences? Here's a quote, White House aide. Al-Qaeda recruits have said that Al-Qaeda is racist against black members from West Africa because they're only used in lower-level operations, i.e., suicide bombers. In short, the official said, Al-Qaeda is a racist organization that treats black Africans like cannon fodder and does not value human life. I am not making this up. White House aides. Al-Qaeda recruits have said that Al-Qaeda is racist because blacks don't have a chance for advancement? Al-Qaeda is a racist organization that treats black Africans like cannon fodder, doesn't value human life. We need affirmative action for Al-Qaeda. Upset at Al-Qaeda's agenda because they have no regard for the harmful long-term consequences of that agenda. I wonder what what does Obama think of the Chi-Coms? Wonder what the official White House position is on the Chi-Coms. Folks, this is not Saturday Night Live today. Apparently, Al-Qaeda needs a human resources department and a diversity officer. The Obama White House is upset that black Africans are being murdered and are in a low-level position. I'm not making it up. I am not making it up. Al-Qaeda is racist. That's the story. It's all over. It's in the Washington Post. It's everywhere. Al-Qaeda is racist because of what they did in Uganda. The Tea Party is racist because, well, they're just racist because they are. Folks, trying not to laugh here because this is well, I've never heard anything so patently, I don't know the word for it, ridiculous. Can I read this again to you? White House aides. This is a quote. Unnamed White House aides. Al-Qaeda recruits have said that Al-Qaeda is racist against black members from West Africa because they're only used in lower-level operations like as suicide bombers. That's all they're good for. They're easier to recruit as suicide bombers than Arabs are. In short, the official said Al-Qaeda is a racist organization that treats black Africans like cannon fodder and does not value human life. Maybe now Eric Holder will seriously go after these guys. Maybe this is what it took. Maybe all it took was for Al-Qaeda to blow up some West Africans. And we learned the Obama administration, that's what finally ticks them off about Al-Qaeda, that they're racist. And that blacks are good for only being killed in that organization. No chance for advancement. No positions of power and influence. Well, what positions of power are there in Al-Qaeda? Well, the positions of power in Al-Qaeda determine which of you are going to have bombs strapped on you and walk onto a bus or in a mall and have it detonated. The power in Al-Qaeda is to determine which members of Al-Qaeda kick the bucket, along with everybody else they're blowing up. There are obviously positions of power in Al-Qaeda, and blacks are being denied them. This from the Obama administration. This might mean folks find that Eric Holder might get serious about going after Al-Qaeda now. Can you imagine the trial of Khalid Sheikh Mohammed? We have learned that your organization is racist and that you are denying black Western Africans chances for advancement in your organization. What do you say to that? And Khalid Sheikh Mohammed obviously would start laughing uncontrollably.